Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgamash, and as an official Bakin DLC Ambassador, I am introducing the Pixelscapes Volume 1 DLC early. This is the town edition of the Pixelscapes DLC. Hopefully, we will see good use made of the Volume 1 implications, and we will see an entire series of DLC structured around the concept of pixel environment, low poly, low res textures. This entire scenery, which just comes together so beautifully in this Bakin environment. We'll get to exploring the sample maps that are with this DLC, but the first thing I want to do is show you how to get this into your project. So currently we're in the Pixelscapes Town Pack project. We're just going to go to File and return to the top menu. All of your official DLCs will always appear in the game gallery, giving you ample room to explore the contents of that DLC pack. And you'll get the very normal about restricted editing mode message, which is just letting you know this is the read-only mode. If you would like to actually edit this project, you'll have to save it as your own project so it doesn't overwrite the sample project. Since I've already done that, I'm going to go back into my project and actually just test play. Because the best way I feel to introduce you to this pack is to actually look at the provided maps that were meticulously built by the designers themselves. This is the city of Townsville. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You can control the camera with your mouse, but I think we'll just leave it at the relatively default setting. Everything that you see here in this image, in this scene, is all from the Pixelscapes Town Pack, except for the characters. The characters are the default RPG developer Bakin sprites. And you can run around here. We've got the default camera control, the default controls for movement, the default Discord notification buzz in the background because I forgot to close Discord. We've got some lovely laundry swaying in the breeze, and yes, these animations do come with these lovely models. Many variations of house, lots of different colors for the houses, and some indoor materials as well. Now in this scene, this fire is actually a default asset with RPG developer Bakin, but everything else that you see here, the floor tiles, the models of all of the objects in the room, everything except for the sprites, of course, are from this Pixelscapes Town Pack. 5 more minutes. Sure, Grandpa. Sure, you take all the time you need. I'm just going to be walking around the house, checking out all the stuff. These bookshelves, these cabinets, this table with all of the tableware on it, the mug, the wine glass, full and empty, plate, silverware. We've got some food over here in this shelf unit, drinks on top, apple, knives, things on the countertop. This stuff isn't necessarily baked on. You can actually get access to this and place it around. We'll design a couple of rooms once we're done exploring Townsville here. Although, if you know what you're looking for in an asset pack and you kind of get what kind of aesthetic your game is going for, you'll know by now if this pack is for you. All of these trees as well, check it out. They're low poly. They've got animation though. They're swaying in the wind. And there's kind of an important point I want to point out. You can change the settings on this, but by default they are billboards. So when we move the camera, sorry, I was moving it with the mouse, and for some reason that's a little bit more jittery than just doing keyboard camera movement. When you move them around, you'll see that they're billboarded. They always face the camera, so you may want to take some time to consider what kind of camera control you want to give your players, and that's just good advice in general, not just because of this asset pack. Got a couple of lanterns here, and we do have a completely separate map that's like a night mode of this, as well as 1 or 2 other maps that aren't in this town that we can take a look at when we are done. Here's another house we can get into, showcasing the stairs as well as some wall variation, a potted plant, more tables, boxes. We can't go upstairs though, which is fine. We really don't want to bug anybody with our presence. We've got a couple of shops that are set up, some statues of heroes in town, and these are not billboarded, but if you go around the back, you'll see that they have backface culling turned on, so the back of them's not rendered, and that's not a big deal if you're planning on giving your player limited camera control. But if in case you are planning on giving them the ability to look at stuff 360 like this, you can turn that backface culling off and it will just look like the reverse of the statue is also on the opposite side. It's not a big deal. A tribute to the heroes who helped usher in the era of peace. Here's the inn, and if you need inn designs for your game, you'll be able to take these very rooms and just copy and paste them right over into your project. Some clever use of the default sprites and their animations. This guy, more drinks, more drinks. Too many drinks. I'm not in the mood for talking, so you best be in the mood for walking. This lovely stair cover, there has to be a name for that. The heroes are in town and we're all booked up. Yeah, it's nice to be an NPC, actually, immersed in the story of being an NPC, going to the inn, and all the heroes already have it all booked up. Check out the crates full of weapons here. Don't see that very often. They have a stockpile. They're actually ready to outfit the heroes. And they are back-faced, culling turned on as well. They disappear when we turn around. Not a problem. It's just a setting. You can turn that on or off. We'll check out one more interior. This shop right over here, swirly. We can't do that because it won't let us in. I think there's got to be one more, but we'll go ahead and get out of here and look at the project files. So the overall map of the day version of this town, and then there is a night version as well. And really the editing mode isn't going to do this justice, even if I turn off the grid. So I'd like to make this the starting point and just show you real quick what this town looks like at night with all the nighttime versions of these resources put into play. The only thing I changed was the starting point, by the way. And here we are. Again, meticulously and masterfully designed by a very experienced map designer and asset creator. I believe I was seeing these assets on a very particular Twitter, and if that creator wants to call attention to themselves below, they can do that in the comments way ahead of this release, but it was really cool to see, and I kind of knew that this was going to be the direction those assets went in. I just had a feeling. So the indoors looks the same. Oh, and when we go outside, it's daytime again. Well, never mind. We're just going to go ahead and dig into what actually comes with this asset pack. So just for the sake of completion, checking out all the different houses and other interior maps. We had a house 1, a house 2, the weapon and armor shop, Townsville day, Townsville night, house 3, the inn and pub. And that's all of the maps that come with this. You can, of course, make your own. These are just all set up to demonstrate how you would use these resources together. If you'll draw your attention to the lower right of the screen, hopefully I'll move my noggin out of the way, you can see previews of all of the different tiles that come with this. And a lot of them are like variations, different orientations of some assets as far as tiles go, so that you can create some detailed, natural looking ground scenes. It's kind of reminiscent of some of the auto tiling that occurs in some other game engines, but you've got flowers, you've got rocks, stones, variations of dirt and road and grass and cobblestone and grass and cobblestone. And that's just the town exterior tiles. We have town interior tiles that gives you access to floor tiles, lots of variations of these lovely hardwood floors, the low resolution pixel style, very visible, very reminiscent of PlayStation 1 era, or PS1 or PS or PSX. And you've got your carpeted floor tiles here, as well as variations on that. So you got red and blue, and then you've got your interior wall tiles, and we have quite a few of those, so you can create pretty complex scenes that the viewer's mind's eye will be drawn to. They won't study it enough to notice the pattern of what different tiles there are. They won't really be able to see the repetition. They won't see the design through what you're presenting to them. And that's a really, really cool thing to have at your disposal when you are creating things. Okay, well, if we go into the Objects tab here, we can see previews of the different doors. We've got a red, a blue, and a green. We've got different chimney styles. We have the blue house. We've got 3 different styles of blue house, and then we have those same 3 styles in red and 2 of those styles for the green. Now, we'll open up a map here and stamp some of these houses down. But ultimately, I think it's important to note that these are very easy to change the colors of. If you would like more variations of color with your house model, you could have purple roofs, you could have black roofs, you could have white roofs. You would have to do that outside of Bakin in an image editor program, but it would be very easy to manipulate the textures. We've done this many times. in Bakin in Smile Game Builder. But those are the houses. We have exterior decor, including shutters open and closed, signs for the inn, the weapon store, the magic shop, which I couldn't get into, the pub, a wooden sign for the ground, a light post, different fences, clotheslines, which I really love, and of course you could manipulate the colors on the clotheslines, and statues of the dwarf, which backface culling is turned on there, the knight, and the mage. We've got logs, we've got a stump, variations of, and rocks. And you can really never have enough rocks and stumps, honestly. Rocks and stumps for your farming simulator game. Lots of furniture here, tables, chairs, benches, bookshelves. There are shelves for your kitchen, armoires, beds, nightstands, kitchen cabinets, variations of those, stools, fireplaces, knife 1 and 2, plate, apple, cutlery. The bag, small, a single plate, large, stack of plates, a tankard, full as well as empty. This is using a particle effect. Wine glass, full and empty. Plants, pots, barrels, boxes, crates, bows, the crates full of weapons that you saw, swords, shields, a suit of armor, and actually lots of suits of armor. And we can always stop the rotation in order to get a static image by right-clicking here in the preview. You can actually view the collision of each of these objects as well if you have a need to do that. And you can see that some of these are accurately collisioned, and some of these are just given very basic cube collision. You can also view the angle from above or from an angle if you'd like. So this is a pretty useful way to view these assets. We'll take a look at the town flora next. We've got grass 1 and 2, and although we have turned off the rotation, we still see the animation. Grass 3, we've got blue flowers, we've got orange flowers, we've got pink flowers, we've got bushes, and we've got trees. And of course, you can manipulate the scale in sort of real time as you're placing these down. You can assign the random pen as the tool of choice so that when you are painting your forest scenery, these trees will automatically go down at different scales, different sizes, within a range of your choosing. That's a Bakin setting that you can toggle on. All of the rest of the folders that come with this sample project are really just folders that will come with any project that it needs in order to be able to build things like your reserve assets and your sprites and stuff. But we'll go ahead and actually create a new project and import these assets in so I can show you how to do that real quick. And we'll go back to the top menu, and I'll not save my changes. I don't want trees growing in the pub. So I've just made a brand new project, and this does not have the DLC loaded in. So we're just gonna go into resources, and then we're gonna go to 3D stamps. We're gonna click on the 3D stamp option here in the left side menu, and then we're going to click add. We're not going to click on any of these things underneath 3D stamps. We're going to add the entire stamp and all of the data associated with the stamp, not just the model, not just the motion, not just the material, etc. 3D stamps, click add. And now all of your DLC will be over here on the left side menu under additional menu. You can find your Pixelscapes town pack, and you'll find your 3D stuff here. We'll just double click on Pixelscapes to see what we've got in here. Houses, exterior decor, interior decor, town flora, all that's great. So I'm just going to leave Pixelscapes highlighted and click add and exit. It will add everything from the Pixelscapes DLC. It will have its own folder, its own subfolders, and we can just hit OK. From this point on, we can go into the Objects tab, and we'll have our Pixelscapes folder here, just as it was represented in the Resources menu. Double click on it to open up the subfolders, and then you can double click on Houses, Exterior Decor, Interior Decor, and Town Flora. But wait, that's not all. I'm gonna go back into Resources. I want to click on Terrains, and I want to add my Pixelscapes terrain. So I'm just going to click add. If it doesn't default to the ready to use tab, we'll click on that, and then we'll find our Pixelscapes Town Pack DLC. There it is. We're actually going to hold down the shift button and click Town Interior Tiles. You can also hold down Control. It doesn't really matter. In this case, since there's only two options, make sure they're both highlighted and click add and exit, or just highlight the one that you want and click add and exit. That's going to add a boatload of tiles. We'll just hit OK because that's what we want. And now when we go into terrains, those town interior tiles and town exterior tiles will be here, appropriately listed. If for some reason you don't like the way that these are categorized, you can always make yourself a new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder. It'll default with the name folder 1, and I'm just going to call it Pixelscapes. And then I'm going to move both of these folders into my Pixelscapes folder. And now when I hit OK, it'll be nice and categorized over here where I actually select my stamps. You can do the same thing for your objects. However you want to categorize and arrange your stuff, you can do that. But now we can click on town exterior tiles, and when I place them down, wow, they pop. They are wildly different than the default tiles for a normal project in Bakin. So you'll really need to go through and take care to design your map. You can start out, if you'd like, with just this default grass tile. We'll go ahead and use the fill bucket tool and make everything grass. And I mean, it's that simple if you just want the bare minimum. We'll go ahead and grab the objects tab now, go down to Pixelscapes and drop down a couple of houses. I'm just gonna throw down an entire house. And there you go. Boom, boom, and then boom and boom. And we have a village. It's that simple. We're not done by a long shot, but if you were working on like a jam project and you just needed to have a really fast map, there you go. It already garners just enough interest for a player to want to visit all of these houses. Okay, and now I'm going to actually turn some of these houses around so that the player will want to walk into them from an angle. Yeah, I like that. I like that angle very much. So we're gonna do that. Grab this one and turn it around a few clicks. Yeah, kind of a little bit more realistic. Move this one a little bit further away, and then move this one just a little bit further away. I'm making ample use of my right click and drag and middle mouse click and drag to be able to pan and tilt the camera as needed. I'm gonna grab some town flora, go ahead and throw some flowers down. Beautiful, beautiful. Some grass, just grass, just random grass. It's billboarded, so it's gonna follow the camera. Some pink flowers. Not gonna overdo it on any of that stuff. We'll put a stump here and a stump with an axe over here. We'll set the starting point here. And now we can kind of just like walk through this barely a village scene, but we can actually apply map settings to this and see what these look like in different environments, of course, using the default Bakin engine map settings. We'll do that by clicking the rendering tab. If your layout doesn't look the same as mine, you can easily move these different menus around and lock them, bind them to different parts of the editor. But we can go ahead and click on these different scenery presets and immediately see that the lights come on when you go to a nighttime version of the map, which is just lovely. Ice world, sepia tone, bad weather, dungeon. Dungeon keeps everything dark and automatically turns the lights for these houses off, which is really cool. Very spooky. And that's kind of the gist of this whole DLC, guys. The Pixelscapes Town Pack, Volume 1, I would love to see feedback from the community expressing their desire to see many more volumes of such an aesthetic, so that if the creators work on this for further volumes, we might be able to get like a dungeon that follows the exact same aesthetic, or a forest level. I'd love to see more trees with this design, lots of variations of different trees, rocks, some caves, so that we have lots of different scenery and options. Towns are very, very important, and having this aesthetic for a town is a gold mine. But I've said my piece. Now you've got to say yours. Let me know. Will this be a DLC pack that you are planning on picking up? Thank you very much for watching my presentation of the Pixelscapes Town Pack Volume 1, and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like this sort of content. I will definitely be showing off more content as part of the Bakin Ambassador program. I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.